So I'm using, oh, you have another joke, Maribel? All right, sounds good. When we come to joke time, you can tell it, all right? I mean, if your microphone doesn't work, you can put it in the chat, and we'll read it for you. So, couple things today. First of all, the first thing, reminders. It's 2 weeks from today. You will be done with your AP Calculus test by this time of the day, okay? So you need to make sure that you start thinking about things, okay? Quiet place to work, how you're going to set up your environment. I will know tomorrow more on how the upload download. There's supposed to be some practice out there for you. I haven't gotten an email yet, but I have to go to a webinar on it in a couple hours, okay? So we got to think about that. Internet, I know it's been super glitchy, okay? You need to find a place where your internet's working well. Find the best place in the house, okay? Find the place where it runs the best, most consistently. If you have to, you can get in the car and go sit at Talkwitz, Costin, Rancho. If you go sit next to the building in your car, and I know it's hot, and it'll be 11 o'clock in the morning, okay? You find, or, get to a place where there is internet, okay? So, and test that out before test day. So if you're going to go do the in the car deal, you got to go find a place before. You can go to any elementary, high school, middle school. They all have internet. And if you pull it close to the building, you'll get the internet, okay? So there should be internet. And I know, like I said, we've had issues the last couple of weeks. I know Spectrum's been terrible, okay? But you've got to make sure it's working and test it at like 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning. You need to plan on being on at 10:30. You need to be there half an hour because they're going to have you fill out a bunch of stuff so the test can start at 11. The entire country is starting at that time, okay? So that means that if you're on the East Coast, they're starting at, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, whereas your test is at 11. Normally, we all start at 8 o'clock, and it goes time zone by time zone, and everybody starts at a slightly different, but everybody's starting at the same time. He needs to go out.
You need to go out.
So just keep those things in mind, okay? All right, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen because there's a couple of other things I want you to be able to see. Oh, I did not get my other thing up here. So reminders, I forgot what to pull up one thing. Got to pull up this one thing because I forgot my, come on, where is it at? Where is my drive? I didn't edit from yesterday, but just so you know, here we go. So review of what's going on this week, because I know not everybody was here yesterday. Okay. See if I can get it to present. Ellie, can you close that door?
Hey, okay. You're ready to go out.
All right. So today we're going to do 2018 number 3 and 4, and I'm sorry I did not send a reminder today, did I? I forgot. It's been a busy day. And the Kahoot theme is Marvel today. And then tomorrow, we're going to meet a little bit same time. BC will have some time 4 to 5. There's some reminders up there about what we're going to do. Okay. See, they're great till they're screaming. Tomorrow's Kahoot though is Toy Story 1. All right. Then Thursday's 3 to 4 and BC 4 to 5. And then Friday there's a little change in time. We're going to go 2:30 to 3:30, and BC, you're going to go from 1 to 2, okay? And we have Shrek 1 and High School Musical 1 coming up as Kahoot themes. And then Saturday, BC, you're 1 to 2, everybody's 2 to 3, and we're going to do an Incredibles 2 theme on Saturday, okay? Andy has pre-picked the themes. All right, the other thing, I'm not sure if you are aware of it, but there is a Spirit Week going on this week, okay? On Instagram and Facebook for Talkwitz. So today is Titan Tuesday. You're supposed to show your Titan pride. I don't know if you noticed, but I think Kiara and I are both wearing the same shirt. So you've got to have your Titan gear on today. Tomorrow is Wacky Wednesday. Dress in crazy patterns and mix match clothes. We call that pretty much 5 days a week here, or 7 days a week here at the Ballard House. So I'm sure that someone will be. Yeah, it's pretty easy to do that. Okay. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started on what we are going to do today. I didn't make sure my notes are in front of me. All right, so here we go. We're going to start with 2018 number 3. Hopefully I can, there's my notes right there. Okay, I did them so long ago because I did them when I got up at like 4 this morning. Okay, I'm going to flip my thing here so that you guys can see or I can write on it a little bit better. All right, so we've got this wonderful, we're starting, it looks like, with question 3 on 2018. All right, I'm going to today ask a few more questions into the chat because you guys should be at the point where you should be able to answer this and do a lot more of this on your own. And I just kind of want to see where we're at. So I might ask you for what you think you need to do for the part of the problem. Because today I have to take off my, hold on a second. We are working on a, whatchamacallit. Where's my, I need to be in this. Where's that? Okay. We're working on a graphical stem. Where's my prop?
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. You have to see this. I'm going to take the presentation off. Okay. So we're working on graphical stems today. So I went out in the yard and I made a graphical, well, at least our first one is a graphical stem. So Madison's rolling her eyes at me. So this is my graphical stem. All right. So not all of them, but the first one's a graphical stem. So when we have a graphical stem problem, I can now get out my graphical stem. Okay. All right, here we go. I'm glad you love that, Natalie. Okay, back to Ellie's gonna join the peanut gallery apparently. Okay, I'm gonna present my screen to you again. Okay, so here we are. So we've got G is, I'm gonna read the problem. Hopefully you have it in front of you. So I've got that wonderful graph that I tried to resketch for you. Yes, this is the key. The graph of the function is, the graph of the continuous function g. So they told us that g is continuous. All right. The derivative of the function f. So you guys, as soon as you see something like that, I don't know why it's going crazy right now. As soon as you see something like that, I would write that down. And you'll notice that's one of the things that I picked on to write right here. I know g is continuous. My thing is not working. Okay. Okay. And then g is continuous, but you want to write down that g is equal to f prime. I would write that on my graph. I would write that anywhere I possibly could. Okay. The function g is a piecewise linear for I am not recording. It says I am not recording. I think I recorded on a different program today. So I did record. Let me double check, okay? Because I know we want the recording. I want to exit. I gotta get out of this silly tablet mode, which is over here. Take that off. Okay. All right, let's see. Let me double check that I have something going. I'm recording in Screencastify and in Google whatever right now. So I'm recording. We're good. Okay. All right. I'm going back here. So as soon as I get one of these things, as soon as I see that, I want to write that down. I want to kind of start labeling it. I also would label this. I don't want to switch tablet mode. I also would label this guy right here, also know that that is also f prime as well. So that way I've got it kind of all out of the way. I know what everything belongs to. So it's the shown above, the function g is a piecewise linear between -5 and 3. And it's interesting because -5 is closed, but 3 is open. And that's mostly due to the fact that this is more of a parabolic kind of function and the rest is kind of closed, piecewise, kind of linear kind of thing. And then they give us g of x, and they say that that is on from 3 to 6, and then they close it from 3 to 6. Okay. I know why. The 3 was open because it was those two were meeting right there. That's why it was open. All right, so I say if f of 1 equals 3, what is the value of f prime of 5? Okay, so this right here, remember, is an initial condition. So this is the place where you start. Okay, 100% of the time you're going to start there. So even if it doesn't seem like the right, so this is the x value. That's the lower bound. All right. So I know that I have to. So I'm going to write a little bit of a skeleton of the problem, or kind of what I would fill in. So I'm supposed to be solving for f of -5. I know to do that, I need f of 1, plus I have to add that to the integral, and I'm going to have to start at 1. I know my ending has to be this -5, even though that seems backwards. And then I know that to get f of 5, I'm going to have to integrate f prime, right? Well, f prime is the same as g. So really what I'm doing is I'm integrating g of x dx. All right. So I'm going to rearrange a little bit and put some stuff in there. So first of all, I know that f of 1 is 3. And then I know I don't like this order because that one's smaller than this one. So I need to flip that around and I'm going to switch this to a minus sign. So I've got -5 to 1 of g of x dx. And actually, oh yeah, okay. Then I'm going to go to my graph to get this integrated because I really don't know what the function g of x is. I know it's got to go from -5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, -5. And I only get to go to 1, which means I need this area here and this area there. So it looks like I've got a trapezoid and a triangle that I need to find the area of. So I'm going to keep my 3 minus, I want a big parentheses, okay, because that sign is going to throw me off. And I need to do the area of that trapezoid. So it looks like the first base of the trapezoid is 1, 2, 3, 4. And my other one is 1, 2, 3. So I know I have to do 4 plus 3 times the height, which is 1, 2, 3, divided by 2. But I need to do signed area, and that's below the axis, so whatever I get is going to be a negative answer. So I'm just going to throw a negative in front. All right, then I'm going to add that to the area of this little tiny triangle here. So it looks like base is 1, height is 2. So 1 times 2 divided by 2. Okay. And we're not going to go any further than that. You stop, you've got the answer. Okay. For those that really are curious, when you simplify it, it's 25 halves. Okay, but please, please, please just get in the habit of stopping. It won't take you that long. Remember, you're going to be under time pressure. You're going to make a mistake, and you don't want to lose the point for making a mistake on arithmetic, okay, when you did all the calculus right. Okay, so points on that part. We have a point for the integral, so a point for setting this up, and then a point for your answer. Okay, and both of those would get us, both of those would get us the correct answers. I'm sorry, my phone went off. I didn't mean to get interrupted. All right, next part. It simply says evaluate from 1 to 6 of g of x dx. So I'm going to look at my picture again. Okay, this is the picture of g. You want to be careful because notice this one had f in it, and then it flips to g, and it kind of flips back and forth. So you really need to make sure you're taking care of what the question is asking. Okay, so we're going from 1 to 6. So I've got to go from here 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going all the way to there. Okay, so I'm actually going to split this up into 2 different things. I know I could find the area of this, and then this is a whole different function that they gave us, which of course I didn't paste down here. So I'm really going to go from 1 to 3 of g of x dx. And I'm going to add that to 3 to 6 of g of x dx. Okay. I know that this one here is just going to be the area of that little square, which is 2 times 2. This one, however, they gave me a function. I'm sorry I didn't paste that. So it's this guy right here that I've got to integrate. So I'm going to put that in there. So plus from 3 to 6 of 2 times x minus 4 squared dx. I'm sorry, this thing keeps going off. Okay. Okay. All right. So technically we have a u substitution, but let's talk about that because that kind of would be our u. So we got x minus 4, which means that du would just be dx. It's not going to do us any good to do the u substitution, so I'm going to kind of ignore it and just put this on the inside whenever I integrate. Okay, so we've got a 4 out in front for the 2 times 2. I'm integrating, and I'm pretending like that's just an x. So I've got 2 times x minus 4. I am adding 1 over 3, right? Because divide by the new exponent, and then we go from 3 to 6. All right, we're going to plug in. So we've got 4 plus 2 times 6 minus 4 over 3 plus 2 times 3 minus 4 over 3. Not plus, Mrs. Ballard. Minus. Done. Don't take it any further. I shouldn't even tell you what the answer is, huh? Any further. They say the answer is, because I didn't even go calculate it because that was too much of a mess for me at 4 o'clock this morning, was 10. Okay. So let me do the points on that one. The points come from making the split. So you actually had to do the split. That was 1 point for splitting that up. Okay. What happened to the... Oh, thank you, Gabby. I missed the 3 exponent. Okay. Glad I got it. Thank you, guys. Did we actually have to graphically solve the problem? Could we have done it arithmetically? Lorenzo, you could have done it arithmetically. Okay. Why is it over 3? Because when we divided by the new exponent, or we remember integration is add 1, divide by the new exponent, which is 3. Jade, I gave you the answer. It's 10. You can figure out the steps in between, but on the test, please don't. Okay. So I've got a point for splitting this up. So they actually wanted to see the split here. Okay. And then you get a point for the antiderivative. So you got a point for this right here, the antiderivative. And you got a point for this answer right there once you plugged in. Okay. Hopefully I got everybody's questions. Okay. If I didn't, you pop on your microphone and get in there and tell me. Okay. All right. We got B down. All right. We're going to look at part C. Okay. So I'm going to ask you, I'm going to read part C, and then I'm going to ask you a question I want everybody to put in the chat. Okay. Because I want to see you guys interacting with this a little bit. So for the interval from -5 to 6, on what open intervals, if any, is the graph of f both increasing and concave up? Give a reason for your answer. So I want you in the chat to think about what you need to do and put it in the chat. So everybody, I'm going to give you all a minute. I'm going to shut up for a minute, and I'll let you guys type that in the chat. All right, I think you guys have got it in there. Sorry, my mother-in-law was texting me. Okay, sign chart, sign chart, sign chart. I see lots of sign charts in there. Great job. Okay, so I'm glad we know what we're doing, okay? Lorenzo went into a little bit more detail. Critical numbers, and then use a double layered sign chart. That's really where we need to go, but I'm glad we all got the idea of when we see those information, relative maxes and mins, we know we've got to do a sign chart. And yet that double layer comes in because we have the increasing and the concavity, okay? So let's go for the double layer sign chart. So the double layer sign chart basically means I'm going to grab any number on there that looks critical. I know I've got to get my zeros, and this has a lot of weird points on it, so I'm just going to grab, it doesn't hurt to grab every single one of these x values that are weird, okay, plus any endpoints, right, any x values that are endpoints. So this is going to be like a massive sign chart, okay? So here we go. Massive sign chart time. Sign charts are kind of fun. I like them. This is like my favorite stuff. All right, so we know I have a -5, and then my next one is -2, and that's where my fence is going to be. And then I go to -1, and then 0, and then 1, and then 3, which is crazy, not done yet, 4, and then 6. Okay? All right, and that took care of all of those x values that I circled. All right, then I am going to look at what's going on with the derivative. And remember, this is where you ask yourself, is your graph above or below the axis? All right, so I'm going to look between -5 and -2. It's definitely below. And then between 2 and -1, it's definitely below. Now, we haven't run into this before. What's going on here? Is it above or is it a below? It's neither, right? So this is kind of like, it doesn't happen. So I'm just going to put none right there. I don't really know what's going on. It's not above or below. Okay, it's 0. I guess I could put 0 there. Okay, I could put 0 if I wanted to. All right, then we switch to above, so a plus. Still above between 1 and 3. Still above between 3 and 4. And still above here. You guys, if we wanted to, we could do the intervals any way we wanted. If we wanted to split it up and I wanted to do -5 to -4 and the -4, I could do that. So you could always split it up into many intervals as you wanted, all right? All right, then I've got to look at my second derivative, but remember, explanation is going to always come off of first on this one. And this is where I'm looking where the function is increasing or decreasing, okay? So, there we go. So, increasing or decreasing. So, I've got it. Ooh, is it increasing or decreasing right here? Neither. It's not doing anything right there. It's horizontal. Its slope is 0. All right, here we go. Looks like it's increasing. So, plus. And then again, look at there. Slope is 0. So, it's not doing anything. Not helping me out. All right, then it looks like I am increasing, going up. Oh, it's flat again. None or 0. All right, and then, oh, we get to decrease finally. And then increasing again. All right, so let's go back to the question stem, okay, and look at the where we're looking at what we're going to find. So we have to be increasing and concave up, which means I need a plus situation going on. So I see a plus here. I got out the fancy colors just for this. And the plus there. Okay, so let's write our explanation. So we would want to say that F, because it said it was F is what it was looking for. So F is increasing and concave up, okay, on, tell me the intervals, and you want to use on or over for an interval. On, and it's, we'd said open intervals in the question stem, so we get to use open. So 0 to 1, you can use we haven't seen that one in a while. We can use the union symbol, you can use the word and, you can put a comma, and 4 to 6. Okay, but we have to tell them why. That's just the answer. We have to tell them why the answer is true. So because, and you should probably write out the word because. Now, this is a little bit weird. Remember how at the beginning I had you labeled that it was F prime equals G? So you need to kind of include both because G is what the graph was of, but you need to tell the grader that you understand that it's also F prime. So because G equals F prime, and you don't have to have the of X's there, they won't mark you down for that. Changes sign. No, I'm sorry. That's not what I want to write. I'm looking at the one down below. Not changes sign. Is positive. And remember, it has to be based on what's going on. I erased. How did that happen? Let's see if it lets me undo. Nope. Oh, there it comes back. Okay. Is positive, and it has to come from here. So it's positive, and then the other thing that would have come from there would be the increasing. So it's positive and increasing. All right, I'll give you a minute to get that down. I'm going to use a little less fancy of a color now. 3 to 4 is above the axis. Yes, but 3 to 4 doesn't work in this case because it's also decreasing at that point. Okay, Natalie? Because -1 to 0 is on the axis, you can't say if it's above or below. Correct. 3 to 4 is above the axis, so it's positive. Correct. Okay. We have to write the on these intervals. Oh, yes, we do. Thank you. Increasing on these intervals. That makes a nice complete sentence. I'm not sure if they would mark you down for that, but they all do. Everybody I've been watching will say something like that at the end. So let's make our sentence nice and complete. Okay? Even though there's a bunch of math junk in between. Okay? All right. I dare you guys could write some math. Wouldn't it be fun to write some math junk on our English test? Wouldn't that be great on the lit test or the Lang test? Write some math in there. See what happens. All right. So we have to find the x-coordinate of each point of inflection on the graph of f. Give a reason for your answer. As soon as I see something like this, I'm automatically writing that f double prime on it. Okay. Andy, joke in a minute. All right, so here's good news. We don't have to do another sign chart. We have the sign chart. We're just going to use that, okay? So all we have to do is figure out what's going on here. So we're just looking for f double prime's sign to change, okay? All right, so I'm looking in here for a sign change. Well, there's no sign change, because this doesn't really count as a sign change because it is a 0. Okay, so it has to go from a plus to a minus or a minus to a plus to be a point of inflection. So the only time that's happening is right here at 4. So that's our only point of inflection. Okay, so let's write that out. So you would want to say, the other thing we need to say in here, and this is something that I've noticed in the past couple of days, actually doesn't say that. Never mind. Okay, so all we're going to say is that f has a point of inflection at x equals 4 because, and this is where you do want to state this guy again, okay? Because g equals f prime. Tell the grader or the reader that you understand that. Changes sign at this value. You could write that it changes from positive to negative. Actually, no, I am wrong. That's not right. I'm looking at the thing over here. It's not because of that, because I have to base it on the answer to go from here to, I erased again. Let's undo that. Undo. There it goes. Okay, so I'm wrong. Sorry. You have to base it on what's happening with this, and we know that that goes from decreasing to increasing. So we want to say that changes from decreasing to increasing. Okay, that at this value. If you like the word there, use the word there. Okay. All right. Maribel, you ready? Gabby, yes, because even though we did look at what was going on with f prime, what we were given in the problem was we looked at f double prime, but we were given f prime, so we have to base our answer off of f prime. I hope that makes sense. Okay. All right, Maribel, you ready? Why is the obtuse triangle always so frustrated? Oh, I'll go back and do the points after Maribel's joke. Why, Maribel? Natalie's asking. Because it's never right.
Yes, I knew it.
You knew it? Oh, you should have given the answer. Okay, let's go back and look at the points. I do the points on this one? Yeah. I'll do the points and then Andy will tell his joke. Okay. So the points on this one is 1 point for the answer, which is basically the x equals 4, and then 1 point for the reasoning down here. Okay? All right, Andy.
Yes.
You're up. If you look on the one that says Ellie, you can see that Andy has his themed shirt today. He didn't go with the Talkwoods Spirit Day, but we know our theme today is Marvel, so he wore his Marvel shirt just for that. What are you doing? Oh, you're on Ellie's? Got to come over here to talk, though, because only mine's doing the microphone. Okay, come here. Let's do this. All right, yes, we all see your shirt. Nice. Come here. Come tell your joke, or I'm cutting your joke. There we go. Okay. All right, he's back. Okay, so what's the joke?
Which superhero runs in a marathon?
I don't know. Which superhero runs in a marathon, Andy?
Iron Man.
Oh, Iron Man. Iron Man. Oh, that
So-
was good.
Last
Okay.
was close.
All right. Wasn't there a second joke today? Or am I wrong about that?
You said that there wasn't supposed to be another joke.
Okay, then go away.
There was the other joke.
All right. Let's keep going. All right. Let's keep going. Is Donovan here today? I don't know. Is Donovan? I don't see Donovan in the room today. All right. He would have liked my graphical stem, right? Where did my graphical stem go? Yeah, he would have liked my graphical stem, huh? So sadly, number 4 is not a graphical stem, it's a tabular stem. All right. He came and he left. Oh, we're gonna take him off the roll sheet. Zandy, you can tell that to him. Okay. All right. So we're gonna go to this one isn't too bad. Okay, there's a little bit of yeah, this one's not too bad. So this should be really manageable. So I'm gonna read through it. So the height of a tree at time t, okay, is given by a twice differentiable function h. So h is referring to the height of the tree. All right, so h, I'm just gonna write that down. H is the height of the tree, which means it's acting kind of like a y value in the problem, where h of t is measured in meters and t is measured in years. Selected values of h are given in the table above. Okay, so without even reading it, okay, let's just put, when you see a table, all right, put it in the chat. What are some things you think about that are going to come up in the problem? Okay, so when you see a table, you're automatically going to think, oh, it's going to be this kind of problem. I'm seeing some Riemann sums. Average rate of change is what Madison is saying. That's A-Rock. Lots of Riemann sums. Yes, there's probably going to be some kind of Riemann sum. Okay. Now, the kind of Riemann sum that they put in here, they have put an extra word in there that on the AB test won't be there, but the BC will. But it's still good for us to do the Riemann sum and practice the part of it that'll be there. So all of those things you guys put in were actually in there. All right. So, but as soon as I see a table, I'm thinking there's going to be some kind of Riemann sum in there. Make sure though you are watching the videos, because they're putting all kinds of stuff with tables if you're watching the ones from College Board. Okay. So the more so than just what's in here, they're putting together some interesting things that are very possibly going to come up. Okay. So the height of the tree y. So we're looking at use the data in the table to estimate h prime of 6. Using correct units, interpret the meaning of h prime of 6 in the context of the problem. Okay, so I'm just going to start here. H prime of 6. Easy peasy. I know what to do with that. Actually, put it in the chat. What do I have to actually calculate there? What is h prime of 6 really asking me to calculate? Nobody knows? See people. Oh, there we go. Got a few. Good, 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 good. Okay, slope, average rate of change. Madison just likes that acronym, I think. All right, it is the slope. It is the slope. It is the slope. All right, she's getting mad at me. She's going to type in there again. I can see her. Okay, and a lot of times this is what... Thanks, Madison. So thank you for yelling at me in all caps, too. Really appreciate that. So, this used to be traditionally part A on this all the time. It may or may not cut them up. It used to be slope all the time. So you got to look for and surround this value. So I know that 6 is between 5 and 7. And I'm going to do something a little bit different. I don't know if this is going to help you or not. I'm going to write it a little differently because I've noticed in some of the videos from College Board, this might help you. I'm going to kind of write a formula for it, or a kind of a stem for it, and then fill in that stem. So really what we're finding is h of 11 minus h of 6 over, I'm sorry, that is not what I wanted to do. I want to find h of 7 minus h of 5. H of 7 minus h of 5 over 7 minus 5. So really that's a fancy way for writing the y values minus or over the x values, the slope of the line. So you don't necessarily have to write this, but it's not, you know, you can always write the formula, okay? Sometimes that helps us process it, especially when we're having to work so fast. All right, so that means h of 7 is 11, h of 5 is 6, so, and then 7 minus 5 is 2. Again, you could stop right there. Don't go any further once you've got the numbers plugged in. Because I know Jade's in the room, so I know some of you must have the answer. We end up with 5 over 2, okay? Now, that's just like the first point on that one. It says that we have to explain the meaning, okay? So as soon as, even if I was just reading through this right at the beginning, I might, while I'm doing that, I know that when I see prime, I know that translates to a rate of some kind, always. Okay, so I know I've got to use the word rate in this. And I need to go back and figure out what h was. Well, remember how I wrote this down here? H is the height of the tree. So it's got to be the rate of the height of the tree, okay, at this time right there, whatever that time 6 is, okay? So, and 6 is measured in, it tells us that it's measured in years right there in the table, probably in the problem as well, okay? So let's write that sentence. So h prime of 6 is the rate, the height. Remember, you have to put it back into the words of the problem or the context of the problem. Of the tree, the rate, the height of the tree. Sorry, the rate, the height of the, yeah, I'm still doing okay. The tree is changing. That's a fancy way of not having to say it's increasing or decreasing, right? It's a rate, look at this, rate of change is a derivative. And we got to tell you what it's being measured in. So it's being measured in technically meters per year. So we would want to say meters per year at t equals 6 years. All right. My sister says she dislikes how she remembers having this question. Gabriella, who's your sister? How did I not know this? I'm sure there was another Gonzalez, but I don't always connect the Guadalupe. Okay. It's been a while. All right. So let's talk about, so we all good with part A? All right. You're gonna get like one of Maribel, who is your sister? How did I not know all this stuff? I know Samuel's family. All right, so you're gonna have a graphical stem, a tabular stem, most likely. You're gonna see, I do remember Esmeralda. She was in ROTC. All right, I remember that. She was in 0 period too. All right, so I think I've had all of you guys, Samuel. All right, so let's keep going, okay? Let's look at part B. So part B says, explain why there must be at least one time for between 2 and 10 such that h prime of t equals 2. Okay, tell me in the chat, what do I need to do? What am I thinking when I see these words? Explain why there must be at least one time. Exactly, you guys. We've got to be thinking about the theorems, okay? And those of you guys that are here from BC, good job for showing up, because this is something I haven't covered a lot with the BC stuff, okay? So we have to think about the theorems in this point. So there's 3 theorems that are probably going to come up. There were 4 that we learned in class. It's not going to be roles, though you can use roles. Usually that doesn't pop up on this test, okay? All right. Oh, Gabriella says the answer is always yes. Okay. So yes, but it just says explain, so we wouldn't really have to say yes. But if there is a question, it says yes. The answer is yes. Okay. So this one's tricky though. Okay. So I'm going to start by trying to identify which theorem it is. So I've got IVT, EVT, and MVT. All right. So intermediate value theorem, extreme value theorem, mean value theorem. We haven't really seen an extreme value theorem. I don't think we've even seen an IVT pop up. but we've seen a lot of mean value theorems. So we have to kind of evaluate what we have and what we need to get to. Okay, so it's saying in here that they're giving us H prime. So we know that IVT and EVT, it has to match whatever is here, the information that we have in our table. So we would need it to be H prime or H prime. MVT, we have to go up a level. So I would have to go integrate up to H. So you'll notice our table has an H in it, so it can't be IVT or EVT, it has to be MVT. So we know we're doing mean value theorem. So we've at least got that part. Okay, so we're going to start writing that in there. And when we do mean value theorem, we basically have to calculate the slope and make it equal to that. So I'm just going to start my sentence and see what happens. Okay, so since H of t, we have to remember show that it's two things. We have to show it's continuous and differentiable. We know that it's differentiable, and so therefore that implies the continuity, but we have to tell the grader we understand that, so we're going to write that down. So since H of t is differentiable, okay, it must be continuous. You can use little double arrow thing if you want to do that too. It must be continuous. Or you can say H of t is continuous. Okay, that's a good sentence, all right? So then, well, now that you've stated that, now we can invoke our theorem. So therefore, by the mean value theorem, and all I'm doing is I'm using the question stem. It's hiding in there for you. There must be at least one time t, okay, on. Now here's where it gets a little crazy, okay? I'm gonna do some side work, all right? Typically, and this is where I just think, oh, this was 2 years ago, so none of you got to take this test, okay? You guys, this year has probably been my best year for presenting theorems. You guys know this stuff, okay? But here's something that they're going to throw you off on. We have to get this number. So let's see what happens. Typically what we do is we put the endpoints in and look for that number. So let's do that. Okay, I'm going to do that kind of off to the side. So I know I'm looking for h of 10 minus h of 2 over 10 minus 2. Well, 10 minus 2 is 8. H of 10 is 15 minus h of 2 is 2, so I have 13 over 8. It's not equal to 2, so we have a problem, okay? We know it's less than 2, and I did watch, because I went to watch a video, because I was looking at the answer key. I'm looking, this is a little crazy because these intervals aren't matching. There's a couple of different ways we could explain it. We can have this guy had some crazy explanation where he used the mean value theorem and the intermediate value theorem. That was way too much. That's not even what College Board did on their answer key. Okay. We just have to prove that somewhere it equals 2. So I don't necessarily have to use these endpoints to calculate the slope. I could go through and do the slope on any of these other endpoints. So I'm just going to go through and start calculating slopes until I maybe hit a 2. Okay, and then I will finish off my sentence here. So it doesn't hurt to calculate your slope off to the side before you actually do the problem. So let's see and I'm not going to be quite as fancy as I was here. So I'm going to do 2 minus 1.5 over 3 minus 2. That gives me 0.5 over 1, which is 0.5. I'm not there yet. That's not it. Okay, I'm going to go to the next pairing here. Okay, so I've got 6 minus 2 over 5 minus 3. And let's see, 6 minus 2 is 4, 5 minus 3 is 2. Oh, thank goodness. We got a 2 and I didn't have to calculate all the slopes. Okay, so this is the information I'm going to use. I am going to use the interval 3 to 5. Okay, and we can make that it has to be differentiable on a closed and continue. So we're going to make it a closed interval when we put it in there. Okay, and actually it's going to be a t, not an x. All right, so let's finish our sentence. So on the interval, it doesn't matter if you use this notation or if you like the bracket notation or the interval notation. Either way, I'm going to go with interval. 3 to 5. So there must be at least one time t on 3 to 5. I'm going back to the way I write the sentence. Where'd it go? That's it. All right. Such that, okay, Now here's where I would put my calculation. So if you want to be fancy about it, you could say h of 5 minus h of 3 over 5 minus 3 equals, and then put the calculation in there, 6 minus 2 or 5 minus 3. We know that it actually equals 2, and that is actually equal to the h prime of t, which they gave us up here, okay? And that's it, I think. Let me look at the, yep, done. So basically the gist of that was we got a subset of the interval. We got a little chunk of the interval for it to work, and we calculated the slope based off of that chunk on the interval. Do you have any questions on that part other than the points? Because I don't think I put the points on A either. I got to go back and do points. All right, points. So on part A, the points were 1 for the estimate, so 1 point for this, and 1 point for the explanation. And then points on B, they actually gave you a point for showing this, so that's why I'm saying it's probably not bad. They probably would have given you it for that. And then you had to have the conclusion that included the mean value theorem in the conclusion. Okay? All right. So you all told me that these were some Riemann sums. Here it comes. Okay? We've got the trapezoidal sum with 4 subintervals indicated by the data in the table to approximate the average height of the tree over the time interval from 2 to 10. So I'm going to have you all answer this, even though I know not some of you, it's not on your test this year. What do we have to do if the word average is in there with the Riemann sum? Put it in the chat. My BC kids should be rapidly typing. Everybody else should know it too. Or are you just ignoring it because it's not on this year? Not getting any answers. Is everybody there? The average value. Yep. Okay, there we go. That's what I'm looking for, what Connor's got up there. You're going to divide by 1 over b minus a. Okay. So again, I know, or multiply. Thank you. So it's not on the AB test. Okay. You still should know it. You're going to have to know it for next year. Okay. But it typically is an AB thing. All right. So, and I did teach it kind of towards the end there. We got it in, but they're not testing you on it this year. So, still write this down because you're going to still practice the trapezoidal part. It's just the 1 over b minus a part won't be on your test, okay? But they still will give you the trapezoid. So we've got the 1 over, I'm using the wrong color. I don't use orange. That's our points color. All right, so 1 over our b minus a would be 10 minus 2 from 2 to 10, okay? Of whatever our function name is. So I'm going to go h of t dt. So all I'm doing is kind of writing a skeleton of the problem, okay? I know that's the same thing as saying 1/8 from 2 to 10, okay, of h of t dt. And it's not bad to write that because then you don't forget the 1/8 part for those of you that are in BC, okay? So I'm going to keep writing equals. I'm going to give myself a little bit more space to do my trapezoidal. So I'm going to put that 1/8 out in front. I now know I'm setting up for a trapezoidal. So this is where everybody has to be able to do this trapezoidal, the part that's in the parentheses. So I'm going to set up for 4 trapezoids, which means I need 3 plus signs. I know that I need to divide them all by 2. If you're watching the College Board videos, some of them are factoring that 1/2 out in front, which is perfectly okay to do. It doesn't matter because we're not going to calculate it anyways. So you can put it like that. You can pull the 1/2 out in front, but you got to watch your parentheses if you pull the 1/2 out in front. You got to watch where you put in those parentheses, okay? So you make sure it actually distributes through the whole thing. So I'm going to go to, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I need the height. So this is the height is technically our basis. So 1.5 plus 2. And then this distance in between is the height of the trapezoid. So times 1. Okay. Then I need my next pairing. So I've got 2 plus 6. So it repeats. That repeats. Distance in between is 2. Then I've got 6 and 11. So 6 plus 11, and the distance in between is 2. Then I've got, let's go with this one. Okay, 11 plus 15, Ran out of stuff. Distance in between is 3. Stop there. Please do not waste time calculating that. Okay. Remember, you get about 3 minutes per part. You don't want to waste time doing arithmetic. You're not taking an arithmetic test. You're taking a calculus test. You've done the calculus. Okay. All right. And then I know Jade needs it. Sorry. 263 over 2. Is Jade still here? Hopefully. Okay. All right. So let me do the points. So the points on there are 1 for the trapezoidal sum. So you had to set it up somehow in a trapezoidal something or other. So that got you a point. And it kind of ultimately gets you the second point because it's also the approximation. So really the 1/8 in front got you the second point. But you have to show the structure of a trapezoid somehow. Okay. All right. We are down to part D. Okay. Part D is not terrible. Okay. I have to get Andy in here, so give me just a second. Andy, Kahoot in 3 minutes. Nope, he must be just outside the door. Oh, he's ready. Okay, he's going to come learn some calculus or refresh because he's already seen this lesson a few times because got it while he was in my belly, I think. Yes, he did. I was pregnant with him during a test. All right. Let's see. We've got a g of x. So let's see. The height of a tree. Quiet for a few minutes, okay? The height of a tree in meters can be modeled by the function g. So this is a little different. Typically, we've been seeing this as a rate, and it's not. This is an original equation, okay? So it's actually representing the height of the tree. So it's not a derivative already. The x value is the diameter. Okay, they're all ready to come in. The babies are out there too. I'm losing it. Where the x is the diameter of the base of the tree. When the tree is 50 meters tall, the diameter of the base of the tree is increasing at a rate of 0.03 meters per year. So I wrote this down because they just said the rate of the diameter, which is really the x. So really what's going on here is this value here is dx dt equals 0.03 meters per year. Okay. According to this model, what is the rate of change? That's a little bit different. That rate of change are magic words for the derivative. Okay. Rate of change of the height. So we were looking for dh dt. Okay, with respect to time when we're at 50 meters. Okay. So remember this 50 meters, because this is talking, it said tall. That's a height value. Okay, which is acting like a y value, or it is the g of x value. So we actually need to figure out what the x value is at that time in order to plug into the equation later. So we can do that now, or we can do it later. I'm going to choose to do it now. So I'm just going to go into here, and I'm going to say 50 equals 100x over 1 plus x. Okay, you guys, for a few more minutes, please. All right, I'm going to multiply this to the other side. I'm going to go ahead and distribute the 50 as I do that. So 50 plus 50x equals 100x. I am going to subtract the 50, so 50x, and then x equals 1. Okay? All right. I am going to go ahead and start taking that derivative and look at what they snuck in there. It's a good old quotient rule. So we're going to do our red and our green. All right, so we've got g prime of x equals, and it's not only that, you also need to do this implicitly, okay? Because it's a rate of change problem. So it's implicit with respect to t. So I should be seeing some dx dt's when I take the derivative of x. All right, so we're going to take the derivative of the red, which would be 100 dx dt. Okay, multiply it by the green the way it is, so plus 1x. We know the operation in between has to be subtraction. Okay, then I'm going to keep the red the way it is, 100x, and I'm going to multiply it by the green. derivative, which would be just dx dt, because derivative 1 is 0, derivative of x is dx dt, all over the green squared. All right, all I have left to do is plug in this guy right here. And I'm definitely not simplifying that because that is one huge mess. So g prime of 1 equals 100 dx dt, we wrote it down, it's right there, times 0.03 times 1 plus 1 minus 100 times 1 times the 0.03 over 1 plus 1 squared. Stop right there. Do not go any further. I do not want to simplify that. Do label it though, meters per year. If you must know, it actually simplifies to 3/4. Okay. Did I do points on this one? Yes, I did. Okay. All right. Just making sure. Yep. Okay. Points on this part. Andy, you ready? Because you're almost up. All right. You got 2 points for the derivative. So you got 2 points in here for that, probably because of the implicit nature of it. And then, interesting. You got 1 point for this answer. If you did not do the implicit part, so you didn't catch this, it says and that's basically the implicit part is the chain rule, okay? You could only get 1 out of the 3 points, okay? You would have gotten 1 point on this for just having that derivative without the dx dt's in it, and you wouldn't have been able to pick up the point down here, the extra point down there. So you would have only gotten 1 out of the 3. All right, do I have any questions before we play the daily game of Kahoot? Based on Marvel today. Oh, they're all here in Kahoot. They're running in here.
There's a party at the house.
Okay, here we go. The noisy party is here. Noisy party of 4. Okay, Kahoot time it is.
My time.
I know, I'm getting out of your way. Let me put the number up there. Here it comes. 7731094. Okay, the number's in the chat if you need it. Okay, you get to stand over here and watch. Oh, you're a mess.
Okay. Somebody wrote there's an extremely interesting font.
All right, make sure I can read your name.
G'day!
Okay? So if I cannot read your name, you don't get the extra points. Okay? You know who you are. Extra points for participating.
Sorry. Stop. No, Mikey, no standing on chair.
Okay, he's gonna come sit on the lap.
There's supposed to be 32 people, so 10 more people. That is.
All right, Davey, you want to come sit with me?
No, 33 people. No, wait a minute. It's good time. Better get your device also.
If you see somebody disappear, switch the one who is. Donovan was in it for a while and then he left.
So there should be 35 people in this.
About. So we'll see. We'll give everybody about 30 seconds to get in. Everybody who's gonna play. All
I
right?
found you, Ellie. You're cooking.
All right.
I found me a cookie. Bebo tacos.
Don't hit the button. No, people.
I found you a cookie, Daddy.
Found a cookie?
Yeah,
All right, here we go. Andy, hit the button.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. 3, 2, 1. Who is this character?
Okay, you're not gonna do it.
Machine, Iron Man, Juggernaut, or Colossus? I kind of know, but look. I have almost.
The next one should be
Juggernaut.
Blanca,
Brianna, Bryce.
Miguel. Oh, the top two have emojis. One's a porcupine. One's a dog.
All right.
I've got
Then
Louise.
Carlos.
Who is this? Connor and Miguel. Thor, Ant-Man, Black Panther, Hawkeye. Rango. Oh, I know.
Know it? Yeah. Okay.
Yes, it is Thor. Wow, everybody got correct. You all are Marvel fans.
Wait, what about?
Take him off. Put him
Luis and Ben have been switched by each other.
Stop!
Don't touch. Don't touch.
Lorenzo. Wow.
Stop.
Who is this
Yes,
person?
I know.
Spider-Man, Thor, Loki, or Ghost Rider? Loki.
Lorenzo.
I know who this guy is. Yes, it was Ghost Rider. Somebody answered Loki.
Miguel's here, yeah. Natalie.
Oh, Miguel just got switched with Luis.
Okay, and then
Who is this?
Naomi.
Captain America,
Yes.
Iron Man, Captain Marvel, Ant-Man. People should already know because they're left. Come on, you guys. You can already see two that are simple. Yes, it was Captain America.
I'm in
All right.
30th.
Yes!
Alright, Ellie's in 30th. She's beating people. Okay,
Whoa, Miguel and Connor. Wow, they got switched by each other. And Ben. Wow.
Oh, Ben is up at the top. Okay.
Who is this? Loki, Silver Surfer, Thanos, Black Panther. Thanos. I can't say.
Oh,
Got it.
it wrong.
This is a hard one. Oh, yes, man. Yes. Loki is correct. What'd you choose? Or you want the two?
Huh? No.
Okay. Whoa! Ben just got completely erased.
I'm still in 30th.
Completely. Who is this?
Don't touch Mike.
Why is it love?
Who is
Who
this?
They're all who is
Ben,
this.
Black Panther, Doctor Strange, or Groot?
Oh.
Wait!
Oh, I know it. Wait! Am I right?
What?
Oh, yes, it is.
Black Panther.
Yay!
Oh, everybody got it right. They all know Black Panther.
Whoa!
Oh, yeah, we
just
all know
one
Black
each.
Panther.
But do they
Just
do
one
the
tiny
side
change.
square?
Nope.
Yeah!
Just one tiny change.
Now we can square. Nope. Alright. Keep going.
Shush, man!
Guys,
Who is this?
Okay, who is it? Who
Uh-huh.
is it?
someone. It's me.
Captain America, Black Widow, Captain Marvel, Wonder Woman.
Oh, I know it.
Marvel!
Are you dancing with me? Are you
Marvel! Captain Marvel.
Yes!
Oh, you went up, Billy, huh? 29th.
I'm working my way up slowly.
Whoa!
It's all boys in the top
Who
again.
is
Ladies,
this?
where are we?
Thanos, Captain America, and Iron Man. I want. Oh, I know who it is. Do you know this?
No.
What?
Oh, I know who it is now.
It's Luis. It's staying.
No, I had to look at the hand. The hand is what gives it away.
Yeah, it's
Oh, Sarah's up there
wrist.
again.
Oh,
All right, we got a girl in the top 3.
who is this? Deadpool, Wolverine, Captain America.
Oh, I know who it is.
Look for this.
Oh, yeah, I know who it is.
You guys might already know this person. God. Ah, you just said the answer. Wow, everybody got correct. Nice job. Whoa, Sarah's on fire.
I have an answer streak
Alright.
before.
Yeah, but what place are you in?
Keep going.
27.
Okay.
Hey, it's not
Alright.
bad.
Who is this? Only got 4 questions left,
are up
people.
this time, aren't they?
Ultron,
Super creative.
Iron Man, Winter Soldier, or the Punisher? Oh, that's easy.
Oh,
Yes.
Okay.
sorry, I'm not Marvel. Or whatever this is.
I run on fuel. Iron on fuel. Guys. Oh, B just took out Sarah.
Oh, all boys again.
Who
Hey,
is
I'm working my way up
this?
slowly.
Mr. Ballard's now in here watching the madness.
Thor, Spider-Man, Black
Oh.
Panther, Hulk. Wow, people know this person very well.
It was green, so.
Ooh, Sarah caught the
green
highest
monster,
answers.
Purple Joker.
Whoa, she got 11. Wow.
Okay, keep going, Andy. We got 3 left.
Who is this person? Deadpool, Ant-Man, Iron Man, Thanos. Oh! Ha-ha! I suppose.
That's because you created all the questions.
No, he didn't. I made it.
Oh, you
Yep. Oh, 27. 3 thought Deadpool. Come on, this is
Hey,
only.
Deadpool
going.
has a red suit too, you know.
Keep going.
Only a red face.
Keep going.
Thanos, we already did that guy. Deadpool too.
Where are we at?
Whoa,
change.
Sarah!
I'm in 25th.
I think
Brianna went
progress.
up higher. Okay.
Who is this? Spider-Man, Black Panther, Black Widow. Captain Marvel. I know.
I saw this person at Disneyland once. Yeah. There's the one where Dad screamed at the can and we got to skip to the front of the line for Monsters Inc.
Oh no, Gabby. I'm sorry, your screen froze. Okay, keep going.
Gabby just called.
Gabby. Okay, last question here.
Okay,
Alright.
standing strong, boys. Who is this final one? It's been who is this always? Hawkeye, Spider-Man, Iron Man, Doctor Strange. Ooh, I think this is the. What?
You're not excited?
I knew this.
We have another round.
Please. I knew. She was the best of them all.
Alright.
Doctor Strange.
I'm in 23rd place.
There we go.
Habib. You got all the questions correct? Yeah. This guy has skipped for 10, 14. It's obvious. Honor. The ultimate Marvel fan. Lorenzo and Gabriella. Gabriella is
Oh,
a
we
bit.
did get a boy and a girl in there. Alright. Good job, guys. Okay. Go that way. Okay.
Whoa.
Let me get in there. Okay. Let me end it all up. Okay.
I got 23rd place. That's pretty good, right?
All right, let's
okay.
get that slot.
Okay. So just as a review, so let me get back to this here. Okay. So tomorrow, remember, is mismatch day. Get yourself out on social media. Go throw on a Talkwitz shirt right now, or some Talkwitz colors, and put yourself out there on Instagram. And then tomorrow, I think it's 3 o'clock again. And what's our Kahoot theme tomorrow, Andy?
It is Toy Story.
Toy Story, but just the first movie, not the other movies. Just the first movie. All right.
You can watch them all if you want.
Okay. We will see. I know Toy Story is like one of the house favorites. So.
Yes.
Toy Story 2 is the best.
No.
All right.
I hate that subject.
Quiet. All right. We will see you guys tomorrow.
Wonka raised her hand.
So everybody, and by the way, please make sure you exit the meeting. I have like one meeting where I've got 3 hours of Habib's face. Okay, so please make sure you exit.
David and joined already.
Blanca, what's your question?
Is there is there a link?
Yeah, I should.
Is there a link for? I forgot to show you guys today. I just finished getting it for the AP live videos from. I just redid it. That's all up right now. I still am working on the ones for my live sessions. So I'm hoping to have that done today.
Stop it.
Okay, so I will send out a big email when it's all done. All right. Hey, okay, you too.
My tree.
All right, we're making sure everybody leaves. So my recording. Maribel says we need tacos.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're having chicken soup from a can tonight.
Okay, I hate that. Can I have regular soup?
Disappointing.
All right.
Can I have regular soup?
We don't have regular soup.
No!
Because regular soup isn't regular anymore.
All right.
Connor's frozen.
Connor's frozen.
Keep it
Okay.
Connor shall be frozen forever.
All right.
Shall-
Make sure you guys exit the
He
meeting.
shall freeze
Can't you
to
kick
death.
people out?
Huh?
You can kick people out.
How do you kick people out?
I don't know.
Oh, I don't think you can.
You can. I've been kicked out.
Oh, you have?
Guys, turning off the computer.
See, I don't know that
Turning
you
off
can
the
do that.
computer, that is.
Close the tab and it'll end the meeting.
Yeah, it doesn't. Because I close the tab every time. And now when I get the meeting recording, like I just looked at one, it was 3 hours long because somebody didn't leave.
Oh, the recording's 3 hours.
So I can close the but because like on Zoom you can force it closed and it kicks everybody out. On Google Meet it doesn't. See, Habib's still there.
Maybe you can just.
Mikey, don't do that, please.
Hey, look, guys, it doesn't need
Andy, don't mess with that. Is that
So I was
yours?
wondering why it was taking me forever to
Don't
get
mess with
the recording from it. But I did the recordings different ways today too.